Hi guys and welcome to Lisa Lives. Hope this isn't too dark. It's quite late in the evening. It's a hair pressed to freckle. I don't have my watch on. It's about coming on 10 o'clock in the evening. And I'm just doing a tag video that I was tagged in today. I'm aware I'm well behind, so I'm trying to catch up a little bit at the moment. So this tag is the remake versus original tag. It was created by Rob, hope I've got that right, ancient dialect as Jason would say, from Movie Review Time. I was tagged by Thomas from HorrorFan34 channel, and it's a nice little tag. So it's basically a long list of movies. Do you prefer the original or the remake? If you want to talk about the reasons for that or go into detail, fire away, that's fine, as Rob said. If you just want to fire down them and give your favourite with no explanation, that's fine too. So I may sort of do a bit of both. Some of them I haven't seen. That's not going to go down too well. So here we go. We have 27 movies and a bonus one at the end. Here we go. Number 1, the 1979 Amityville movie or the 2005 remake. I actually didn't mind the remake. I thought it was quite decent, to be fair, but I prefer the original, the 1979 version. Number 2, Black Christmas 74 or 2006. Get ready to hit that unsubscribe button. I haven't seen either. These kind of movies don't appeal to me. Is it supposed to be like funny, sort of Santa Claus killing people? I have no idea. I haven't seen it. The cover never appealed to me. So tell me off in those comments, do I need to watch Black Christmas? Number 3, Dawn of the Dead, 78 versus 2004. Oh, 78 by a country mile. I actually quite like the 2004 remake. I think it's a good movie. I think if we didn't have the original, it would be an excellent movie. But it doesn't have the magic. It doesn't have something that original has. Just something missing. Number 4, Evil Dead, 1981 or 2013. By a country mile the original, although I do feel that the remake is also a decent film. Number 5, The Fog. Oh, this one's too easy. 1980 classic or the 2005 remake. I'm going to quote from HorrorFan34. The 2005 remake is a big pile of farts. Is that right, Thomas? Because it is. You're right. It's a big pile of farts. I prefer the original. Number 6, Friday the 13th. Now, I'll try and explain this properly. He has said the 1980 original, but take that original as comprising the first 3 movies because the 2009 remake covers the first 3 Friday the 13th movies. Hope that makes sense to you. Definitely the original 3, 1, 2 and 3. Number 7, Fright Night, 1985 or 2011. I do like the 2011 version, but I prefer the original 1985 version. Number 8, I think we're on, Halloween. Oh, this one's not going to go down well. Halloween 1978 versus 2007, which is the Rob Zombie one. I am known for liking the zombie Halloween, which most people don't, but I do prefer the original 1978 Halloween. You'll be glad to know. You don't have to unfriend me just yet. Do like the Rob Zombie one though. Number 9, The Hills of Ice, 77 versus 2006. This is quite hard for me. I feel the imagery in the original is very, very strong, very spooky and freaky, but the remake actually frightens me more for that, so I'm going to have to go with the remake of The Hills of Ice. Number 10, The Hitcher, the 1986 Rutger Hauer one, or the 2007 Sean Bean, how do? Sean Bean's from Yorkshire, my husband's from Yorkshire. It's a running joke in the UK that everything Sean Bean's in, he dies and he goes, how do, all the time. That's an awful Yorkshire accent, I apologise. Obviously, the Rutger Hauer version, which is a classic, it's awesome. The remake was a big pile of farts, Thomas, it really was. Number 11, House of Wax, 53 versus 2005. Was the 2005 one the one with Paris Hilton in? Oh, that was awful. So we're going with 59. I did like the original. Number 11, House on Haunted Hill, 59 versus 99. I liked both. That's quite difficult. No, it's not really difficult. The original. I prefer the original, although I did like the remake. 13, I Spit on Your Grave, 78 versus 2010. That's really hard. I actually think I prefer the remake of that one. I do like both. I do like how they put across and portrayed the attack in that, because people that know me know it's a bone of contention when rape is put across on movies incorrectly and not as the brutal, horrific act it is. These movies conveyed it very well. I actually prefer, probably because the revenge is a bit more brutal, I prefer the remake. 14. Last House on the Left, 72 versus 2009 have I written there, I think. That's the original also. 15. My Bloody Valentine, 81 versus 2009. This is a really unpopular opinion. I went to see My Bloody Valentine at the cinema, the remake, I'm not that old. It was in 3D and I hated it. I thought it was awful. That is an unpopular opinion. Most people seem to like it. I didn't. I thought it was terrible. So that's the original again. Number 16, Night of the Living Dead, 68 versus 1990. The 1990 Tom Savini one, because I think that has been remade a few times. I'm going to say the remake, guys. Sorry, I know that's not going to be popular. My husband will clobber me over the head when he sees this. But I'm going with the remake. Number 17, NOES. Rob said these out so quickly and I'm frantically scribbling. NOES. Nightmare on Elm Street. Jesus Christ. Nightmare on Elm Street 84 versus 2010. No contents. Big pile of farts 2010. It's 1984. Number 18, The Omen, 76 versus 2006. Again, unpopular opinion. I don't particularly like The Omen. I don't particularly like either of them. The remake's awful. I do like the whole spear coming down and going through the priest and into the ground and all that. That's pretty cool. But I don't enjoy The Omen. If I had to choose, I'm going to pick the original, but it's just not one of those movies that ever did a lot for me. Number 19, one of my favourites, Poltergeist, 82 versus 2015. Hands down 82, one of my all-time favourite movies. One of the first horror movies. Not the first horror movie, but one of the first horrors I ever saw. Stayed with me for a long time after. Love it. They should never have remade it. It was just perfect. Number 20. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Psycho, 60 or 98. Again, unpopular opinion. I'm not a fan of Psycho either, guys. There's a lot of Psycho films, most of which I haven't seen. There seems to be a real fixation in the horror community with watching really old classic films constantly over and over and over rather than trying to keep up and watch new stuff, which I personally prefer. So people, well, how can you not have seen this? Because it doesn't appeal to me. I have seen the original. I thought the original was quite good. I didn't love it. I have seen the remake and it's so good I can't remember anything about it, so I'm going to say the original. Number 21, The Stepfather, 87 versus 2009, 87 by a country mile. 22, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Are you listening, Bronco? 74 or 2003. I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Is one of my all-time favourite horror movies. I love it. I also really, really like the remake. So even though for me it's easy, it's the original, I also appreciate the fact that the remake is excellent and for a lot of people better, and I understand that. For me it's a personal thing because I just remember how Texas Chainsaw Massacre made me feel the first time I saw it, and it just freaked me the hell out. So yeah. Number 23, When a Stranger Calls, 79 versus 2006. I prefer the original, which I saw as a child, and it did proper scare me. Because I was a child and really naive and stuff, I didn't see the end. I didn't actually get what was going to happen. And when they said that twist, it was like, oh my god, just the thought of it just scared the life out of me. My age would have been in single digits when I saw that. 24, Carrie, 76, 2013. Why remake Carrie? It's there with Poltergeist. Why? They haven't remade The Shining. They haven't remade... I'm trying to think of something else that they shouldn't touch. What? Carrie? Really? I adore the original Carrie. It's Sissy Spacek. Amazing. Everything about it. I can quote lines from that until just from now to next week. I know the script inside out of that movie. I love it. The remake's okay, but it's almost scene by scene. The original is so similar to the original, but it just doesn't pack the same punch to me. And I love the fact that the original Carrie, Sissy Spacek, as much as she was really beautiful, wasn't your stereotypical classic, like, beauty queen. Like, is it Chloe Moretz? Is that her name? That's in the remake. She's just your average like all-American beauty. Whereas, although obviously Sissy Spacek's beautiful, she didn't fulfill that criteria of perfect cheerleader, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And I like that. Number 25, The Fly, 58 versus 86. That's going to be the remake. I have seen the original. The original actually makes me laugh when he's like shrunk down tiny and he's like shouting and stuff. But the Jeff Goldblum version, absolutely amazing. Love that. Makes me squirm, makes me cry. Love it. 26, Prom Night. Get ready to shout, guys. I haven't seen Prom Night. I might have seen the 1980 Prom Night. It's a slasher one, isn't it? Is it the one? No, that's April Fool's Day. The one with the girl with the knife behind her back. I can't remember, guys. I see so many movies. I mean, I watch so many movies. I forget loads until I sit and watch them again. But I can't specifically remember having watched Prom Night. I'm not sure, so I'm going to skip that one. 27, and lastly, before the bonus question, It. 1990 miniseries or the 2017 new remake. I went to see that at the cinema, wondering why on earth they felt the need to redo this. And I came out preferring it to the original. I never thought that would happen. Pennywise was one of those people that you just didn't want to touch because the portrayal by Tim Curry was perfect. But I prefer the remake. I find Skarsgård, what's his first name? Skarsgård. I find him more frightening than Tim Curry. I just prefer, I don't know why, I just prefer it. And the fact it was set in the 80s instead of I think the original was the 60s, was it? That just, to me as an 80s child, just fills my heart with joy. I know people are getting sick of things set in the 80s at the minute, but I love it. So I'm going with a remake for it. And lastly, the bonus question is, and this is going to be easy for most people, The Mummy. We've got 3 versions. The 1932 classic, the 1999 Brendan Fraser version, and the 2017 Tom Cruise version. I'm going to have to go with the Brendan Fraser version, which is not going to be popular because I've seen the original one when I was a child many years ago and I don't remember an awful lot about it. I need to rewatch it. The Tom Cruise one is pretty laughable, but I will be honest, I will watch Tom Cruise in anything. I love the guy. And it was an okay movie. I know a lot of people say it was crap as a horror. Yeah, okay, it was crap as a horror, but well, it wasn't awful. It wasn't the worst thing you've ever seen. But it wasn't scary, really, was it? So, neither was the Brendan Fraser one, but that one's like an adventure. It's fun. It's something you can sit down with your kids and enjoy. It's well made. It's not frightening by any means, but I enjoyed it, so I'm going to pick that as my favourite of those 3. So, I am going to tag some people, and I may tag some people that have already been tagged by someone else, so apologies in advance if that happens. I am going to tag Jen and Christian from Jen's Reviews from the Grave. I am going to tag, I should have written down a list beforehand. If he hasn't been tagged, Sean Erschen. I am going to tag Bronco Juggalo Talks Movies, but I think he's been tagged already. I will tag Nick the Last Shoegazer if he fancies this one. I will tag the Horror Miser Monty G. I will tag Ross from Random Horror. I will tag Kweeny Todd if she fancies doing this one. And lastly, this isn't lastly because there's a few people, I'm going to finish up our little horror hangout team by tagging Movie Massacre, Dave Maggot, Chris from Horror Digest. I think that's all of us. The rest have been tagged as far as I'm aware. So, if you fancy doing it, guys, get on there and do it. If you don't want to do it and I've tagged you, just ignore me. If you do want to do it and I haven't tagged you, by all means do it and use my name. I'll leave it open to anyone else, but I've put the names out there of the people I'd like to see do this one. So, hope you enjoyed the answers. Really cool tag from Movie Review Time, I think. Movie Review Time. So thanks for creating it, and thanks to HorrorFan34 for tagging me. And it's over and out from Lisa Lives.